Cool. Yeah. So just I will walk through how you can prepare for internships. So before that, I will just give you a brief overview of why internship is important and how is placements scenario different from internships. So internship is just like companies try to offer you 2 months or 6 months of how professional work looks like. So it's like you will be given a small project for a duration of maybe 2 months or so, and you need to like complete that within the given time frame, and that is an actual internship at a technical company. And the thing is, for this is mostly about how you are preparing for the interview process, right? So how are the interviews etc done, how is the selection done for an internship. So generally the process is, you might already be familiar, but the first year students or who are in second year might not be that much aware about that. So I will just walk through it. So it's usually there is a coding test as the round one. So it's like you are given a few coding problems, maybe two or three coding problems. Some companies also ask some MCQs about technical subjects, or it might be some companies also ask logical questions. So MCQs about some quantitative reasoning or logical questions or something like that, or quantitative aptitude like mathematical questions. So it depends from company to company, but yeah, overall it's like the first round is technical round, a technical OAT round or online assessment test round. And then if you clear that round, then there is usually an interview which is like one or might be more than one rounds of interview. And generally those are technical rounds in which in an interview you are given a technical coding problem and you need to just walk through the solution of that. So I will discuss how a technical interview looks like in detail in the upcoming slides. But yeah, the second round is mostly like an interview or multiple interviews of technical, uh, you can say technical interviews. Then there is generally an HR round, or you can say leadership round in some companies. But yeah, it's mostly about judging your behavioral qualities, like how good you are, how good leadership qualities you have, and how good you can act as a leader in the company. So it's mostly they are judging you about that. And how do they do so is they will ask him questions like they will put you up in a situation what you will do if, let's say, you are leading a I mean, I'm just giving an example of a question. So it can be like, what will you do if you are leading a team and let's say it's a team of 7 people and some 2 or 3 people are unavailable for a critical project for a week of the duration due to some unavoidable circumstance, and you need to meet the deadline. It's a critical project. What you would do? So they would like give you some scenario like this, and they will ask you like what you would do in such a scenario. So it's mostly about how you can handle such situations, how you can like uh, do what you can do as a leader to get the work done, or maybe to achieve the goal which the company needs, and so on. So generally these are the three types of rounds for cracking either internship or placements. So this is roughly, you can say this is almost similar for almost every company. The thing which varies is what type of questions the companies ask, so that might vary from company to company. So it's overall process, right? So next let's talk about, so once this is the process, so what's the difference between internship and placement is sometimes in placement the rounds might consist of, apart from the coding round, there might be a system design round for some companies. That's the main difference I see for placement and internship. And yeah, this is mostly I'm talking about the on-campus tests or on-campus process, right? So if the company is visiting your company, then this is the process. If you are applying off campus, then there is an additional stage at the beginning, which is resume shortlisting, right? So you apply through the career portal of the particular company. For example, let's say there is a opening for internship in Google, so it will be posted on the website. You are going to apply it, then you submit your resume and they will shortlist it based on some criteria. That criteria is something which the company doesn't reveal, so it is somewhat you don't know, but you try your best to make the best resume which you can make. You will try to put what all projects you have which display or demonstrate your technical skills. You will put what all technical skills you are familiar with and so on. You will put things like what achievements have you made. will put, if you are applying for a technical role, you might also put if you are familiar with some coding competitions or some coding sites like Hacker and Code Forces or so on. So if you are familiar with it, you can also share your profile links in your resume. Yeah, so this is roughly what a resume consists of. You might also submit some other things like if you make some open source contribution, you can also put up that. And resume is something which is free end, like you can openly whatever you want to mention. If it is technical and you feel that the company might see it of a technical value, then you can add it. It's almost it's much flexible, right? So you submit that resume and the company will try to shortlist based on whatever is their particular criteria. Each company has a different criteria, and some the GPA is also something which is mentioned in your resume. And if you're applying on campus, then even in off campus, sometimes they ask you to submit your transcript or some proof of what is your CGPA. So you can't fake that most of the times. So yeah. Uh, is something wrong with my audio or video?
Everything is fine, sir. Please continue.
Okay, cool. So fine. So yeah, this is mostly what you do when you submit your resume. Then the next thing is the company will try to shortlist and they will invite only us. Let's say there are 1 lakh people who have applied, so they will only call how much they can call for the online test process. They won't send the online test link usually to all the people. Sometimes they might, but mostly there is a resume shortlisting stage, and only a certain percentage of the students or candidates qualify for the online test. I'm hearing some background noise. Maybe if someone has turned on their mic. If you have a question, I guess feel free to raise hand. I just don't want to make this session uh, like only I'm speaking. And I don't want that way. I want it to be two ways, so you can also ask questions. But I would say just raise your hand, and I will try to ask you if you have a question. I will try to ask you to unmute yourself if that's possible. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, this is mostly about that. How is the internship selection procedure, right? So yeah, next let's talk about how would you prepare if you are a student. So in the first year, second year, or third year. So I would go by firstly, if you are a first year, then to you what should be your strategy, and yeah. So if you are a first year, so let's say there might be two cases. Either you are already familiar with some programming, might be you might have done in your 12th class, or might be you had some interest and you learned in your free time. That's one of the case. The other cases, which might be true for most of the people, is they don't know anything about programming. And then uh, okay, so the thing is, you are already in first year, and if you have like already done the course of C programming or any programming course in your first year, then you might be aware with like you might be aware with the basics of programming, right? So if you are already aware with that, I would say you should start at least solving implementation problems from HackerRank. So in the HackerRank, there is an algorithm section. You can start from the easy problems. When you go to HackerRank, you can go to problems and just filter all those problems in the algorithm section for easy, or and if there is a I don't know if that filter is still present, but there was a filter like earlier it used to be implementation section. So if there is a section like that, you can first try to solve those problems. And easy, then if you are confident in easy, just move to medium. If you're confident in medium, let's say you have solved 20 problems on medium and you feel that you are easily able to do that, then you move to hard and so on. So basically just first aim of the first at the end of the first year, your goal should be that you are like highly confident in solving implementation based problem. So what implementation based problem means, you are given not a very difficult problem, but you are given some problem which has a very you can say simple solution, but the tricky part might be in the how to convert or how to translate your solution into code. So that translation of a given solution or of a given algorithm to code, that you should be able to do easily. That's the goal of that should be your goal at the end of first year. And that's, I would say, the building block of other higher topics like data structure algorithm and those things. So yeah, this should be your aim at the end of first year. Now, if you're in second year, then you should ideally. So one more thing. Cool. Yeah. I'm getting some error. Please try to mute yourselves. Cool. Yeah. So this is what you usually expect from a first year. You can also try giving some contests on at coder beginner contests or code forces div 3 contests, which are fairly, I would say, easier, and at least not the. So if you're giving a contest, the aim is you should be able to improve your speed. So if you're solving problems in hackering independently, then you would be able to build up your coding skills or implementation skills. But in the contest, the main thing is you're improving your speed along with your implementation skills, and that is actually needed when you are giving a company's test, because there is usually a time limit of, let's say, 1 hour or so. So usually there might be two problems and you need to solve within 60 minutes strictly. And so this is just an example. So the time limit comes into the picture, and that's where practice plays an important role. So I would say from first year you can might be start giving contests on at coder beginner, or you can start div 3 from code forces, or in codeship also I think there are some beginner contests, so you can give that. Might be not every week, but might be fortnightly, like once in 15 days or whenever you get time. But at least try to give some contests. For the first time it might be possible that you're not able to solve any problem, but that's okay. Or you might be able to solve only one or two problems, so that's okay. So at the start or at the beginning, generally people are able to solve only that much. But after the contest is done, what you need to do is, so this is common for everyone, so whoever is trying to give contests or prep for practice, you should absolve after the contest. What absolve means is, let's say I solved only two problems out of the five problems, right? So for the third problem, I need to do this key. I need to just at the end of the contest, there is usually a tutorial published or editorial published, which has the complete solution, and also it has code for that particular problem. So what you need to do is just first, don't look at the editorial. After the contest ends, there is no time limit, right? So there is you are not having any stress. So just free mindedly, if you are able to think of a solution, take time. If you are able to think of a solution, or if you are able to move in some direction, then I would say give more time and see if you are able to achieve the or approach towards the end of towards completing the solution. If you are not able to do that, what you need to do is, in the editorial or tutorial, just take look only at the first few lines, and then move back again to thinking the solution. So just looking at the first few lines, can you think of the solution? Just try to do that. If you are able to, then don't look at the rest of the editorial tutorial, move ahead for writing the code. Again, if you're not able to do so, again look for next few lines, then just repeat this process until you are able to uh, finally get what's the solution of this problem, right? So once you are able to do that, then you move to like just you can submit the solution or submit the code. But sometimes you might face like difficulty in translating the idea to code. Like you understood the solution, you understood how, what's the algorithm or what's the procedure behind the solution, what's the thought process, but still you are not able to translate that to codes. So if you are facing problem in that, then you read the code solution which is given at the end of the contest. So you just try to read that solution and make sense of it, how it is done, and then you can submit, write your own code and then submit it. So this is how you learn in the beginning, right? So if you gradually follow this procedure, if you give contest once in 2 weeks or once in a week in your first year or so, and even if you are in the beginning of your second year or so if you follow this procedure, you will like you will see improvement in yourself definitely, and you will be able to improve your coding skills and as well as your thinking skills, right? So this is what I generally share to first year students, that how you can start your coding journey, start your internship preparation or placement preparation, whatever you say it. So that's what for first year. Now, if you're in second year, you need to learn about DSA topics and stuff. So yeah, I will try to share from the slides itself. So as we discussed, like practicing contests. Now, if you are in the second year, this thing becomes a lot important to you that you need to, since usually when you are at the end of the second year and you or in the early third year, I would say companies hire for interns. So the internship hiring procedure usually for BTech, I'm saying it starts when you are in the third year. So when you are in that, I would say if you have just entered into your second year or you are going to enter into a second year, you just have only 1 year of time to prepare. So since there is only 1 year of time, I would say initially a few months at least, even if you're not given any contest, first try to give some contests. And as I discussed, initially you won't be able to solve much problems, but gradually you will make progress. So that's how it will go, right? And once you have like become comfortable in giving contests, I would say uh, then you need to move towards like learning the various DSA topics, the data structure and algorithm topics. And for that there are a lot of resources on the internet. Also, if you are in CAC, then you will have a subject of DSA in your curriculum. But that like learning DSA from as a subject from your curriculum is not what will help you a lot. So that's mostly the theory part, right? What you will learn in your curriculum. But here in the coding round or in the interviews, you need some practical knowledge which comes from practice. So what you need to do is, for every topic, for example, let's say I'm learning binary search algorithm, right? So binary search algorithm is as simple as it's used when you are finding an element in a sorted array. So you use binary search, but it's not as simple as that. Matlab, you will the concept is as simple as that, but when you go to solving the problems, there are a lot of good problems on binary search, which when you can go to any platform and sort or filter out the problems for that particular topic. Let's say you have learned binary search, so you will go towards any website. Like you can go to Hacker Earth. Hacker Earth has a good collection of all topics of I would say data structure and algorithm. And there is lead code, but lead code, I would say certain topics, the problems are not so from interview point of view, lead code is good. But from coding contests, I would say coding contest perspective, Hacker Earth is good. So both have their own pros and cons. I would say you can start with Hacker Earth if you are in your beginning of your second year, right? So you can what you do is, in HackerRat there is also the articles section which has the content of, or they have theoretical part of any every DSA topic. So from there you can learn about that topic. For example, you learned about binary search from an article on HackerRat, then you can apply it when you are solving the problems and or practicing it there. And you need to apply the same thing whenever you are solving a problem, try to solve it by yourself. If you're not able to do so, then look at only the first few lines of the solution given. The solution, I'm saying the solution given in words, not the code. Don't look at the code directly. Just do that and just gradually repeat this process until you are able to solve that problem on your own. And if you're not able to do so, then let's say you are not able to convert that into code, then again, then only look at the code. So yeah, this is the process you should generally follow when you are solving any problem, either in contest or from any platform like LeetCode or Hacker, right? So that's how you practice problems. Then yeah, there is DSA cracker sheet, 450 problems given in there, but I would say just
Sorry for
use this.
interrupting, sir. Sorry,
Okay.
sir, but actually, I think the slide has stuck. Please continue. I think the
Slide
PPT is
is this
stuck
only,
in.
master coding problems. So
Okay,
the
sir.
slide
Thank you.
is this one, master coding problems. If you can see the title.
People have been writing in the chat box. Okay, thank you, sir.
Just can you confirm what title you can see on the slide? Just I want to confirm, is this correct or no?
Master coding problems, practice contest, and lead
Right,
code
right. Yeah,
one.
this is the slide. Yeah, yeah. This is the slide I'm using. So yeah, I'm. like this is what slide I'm using. That's correct. Cool. So yeah, there is a sheet you can search on Google, made by Love Babbar. So you can try to solve problems from that. But I would say use this only when you have maybe 5 months or 4 or 5 months remaining. Go to this sheet only then, because this sheet is mostly from interview point of view, and this won't help you much in the coding rounds, because I have seen this, that most of the companies have asked is have started asking like competitive programming problems in the coding contest. Most of the companies, even TCS, Infosys, or even if you go for, so Google definitely asks problems which are at the level of competitive programming. Competitive programming is nothing but you can say it's just the contests which are held in various platforms, so that the people who follow that as a sport or as a hobby, or if you are interested in solving those contests, then you say yourself that you are a competitive programmer. That's all. So competitive programming is not a special thing, but what I mean is the problem difficulty level at the online test is much higher than what the problem asked in an actual interview. So this sheet has both easy, medium, hard problems, but still not as hard as in a I would say online test, right? So move to this sheet only when you have very less time, like 4 months left or 5 months left, and you need to like really like you need to prepare in haste or so. So this that time you can use this sheet. And also why I'm saying this is because DSA problems are mostly, if you go by this sheet, you will be mostly doing it topic wise and so. But if you try to give more contests and like practice problems free end, so so one thing I missed is when you're giving a contest, another advantage is you are not knowing what topic this problem belongs to. So let's say there is problem in front of you, you don't know what's the topic. So that way, if you try to think on your own, then you build the skill of identifying the topic, identifying the algorithm, and like thinking the solution completely on your own. You become more independent, and that's really needed in an actual interview. Because if you're solving topic wise, let's say I'm sorting by binary search problems or filtering by that, then i'm like I'm losing the I would say losing the skill of identifying the topic. So that's also important. So I would say giving contests is more important if you have enough time, like you have 1 year or 6 months or more than that. So focus on giving contests on various platforms, and you should also solve topic wise problems, but practice contests is, I would say, has a higher weightage or in higher weightage or importance in preparation when you have much time, right? So that's the thing. And yeah, I have covered most of the things which are mentioned in this slide, I guess. Yeah, cool. So I talked about mostly like if you are in second year, or so if you are in third year, you have very less time. So you can start focusing only on DSA topics and give contests. But yeah, like topic wise, you should be comfortable with every topic. So you have less time. So what you can do is just go topic wise first. See, check out. You can pick up any platform like LeetCode or HackerEarth, whatever. So just pick up some problems of the topic, maybe easy, medium, difficult. Then just see if you can solve a few problems. If you can, if you have confidence, just don't waste timing solving more problems of that topic, and move to the next topic, and just try to do this in your short duration of time which you have left for the preparation. So that way you will become confident in every topic, and side by side might be once in whatever, once in week or whatever time you have left, according to that, try to give contests as well. Because I said, as I said, identifying the topic is an important skill. So that you will learn by solving contests mostly. Or what you can do is while solving problems, you can hide the topic. Or there is generally, for example, in code forces, there is an option to hide the topic of the problem. So you can go and hide the use that feature to hide the topic of the problem and solve any random problems when you're practicing. So that also you can use. This is also available in LeetCode, if I remember correctly. So you can, whatever platform you are using, just do this, that hide the topic. So this will help you to identify the topic even when not in a contest. You will get you will learn this skill. Yeah. So the next thing is, I think we did this, but yeah, this is mostly about when you have less time left, and yeah, you are trying to solve more and more problems from maybe 450 sheet, or might be from interview bit. Interview bit also has a good set of collection from interview point of view, from DSA point of view. So yeah, if you are, you can also follow interview bit. So the thing is, whenever you are solving problems in such a way, then try to make a note of problems which you struggled with. For example, there, let's say you were stuck on a problem for more than half hour thinking what the solution is. So just start that problem, mark it in your favorites or whatever, and whenever, like, might be once in a week, what you can do is go through once in a week, or if you have more time, then might be once in a month, or according to how much time you have left, you can do that. Go through all your start problems or your bookmark problems, and try to think of the solution again by on your own, and you should be able to solve that. If not, if you are able to do that, then you can maybe move to remove the star, or maybe you can move to a different list somewhere. You can make compile a list of problems which you faced initially difficult with, initially you faced difficulty with, but you are now confident in that. So you can like put that in a different bucket. And if still we are struggling with that problem, then keep it a start, and the next time, next month or next week, even you try to go over those problems, you will try to improve yourself, right? And yeah, the next thing is interview bit has, again I said, good collection of problems you can solve topic wise effectively. If you have very less time, I would say interview bit is really good tool, or good platform, which has, like, if you have 1 month left or so, or so, you can just go to interview bit problems. And yeah, that's really good because it has some, I think it has two sections. One is additional problem, one is main problem. So you can, if you have less time, you can just solve the main problems of every topic. You can do that. And yeah, so optimizing the problems, optimizing the solution of your problems, like time complexity, space complexity improvement, this thing is again much necessary because I don't know if first year students might be able to understand this, but second year students, or who are familiar with the concept of time complexity and space complexity, you know that a problem can be solved in multiple ways. There can be multiple algorithms to solve a problem. So if there is a slow solution, and there is, let's say, a medium fast solution, and there is a fast solution. Slow can be O of n square, medium can be O of n, fast can be O of log n, for example. So what you need to do is you need to be able to solve in the most efficient way. And yeah, the thing is, in an interview, you might, so the thing is, let's say there are three solutions as I mentioned. So time complexity wise, the third solution is best, the log n one. But let's say the third solution has a space complexity of n square, right? And medium, the middle solution has, let's say, O of n space, and the first solution which I mentioned has O of one space, which is constant space. So if someone asks you which solution is best, what would you say? So if you think carefully, you can't say until you know what's the requirement of, what's the scenario which the company is dealing with, or whatever. So sometimes space complexity becomes necessary, sometimes time complexity becomes necessary in a practical scenario. If you are solving competitive programming problems, usually it's the case that time complexity is more important and you focus on that. But in an actual scenario, why I'm saying this is, in an interview, there might be multiple ways to solve a problem. So you should be able to identify all those various ways of solving that problem, and you should be able to tell out that to the interviewer when you are walking through your solution, that okay, these are the three solutions. And when then you can ask your interviewer what is more important, like, should I solve the one which has good time complexity, or faster time complexity, or should I solve the one which has very less space, or very optimized in terms of time space complexity. So what's important, so that is really a good thing. And yeah, so if you are able to give different solutions and compare those trade-offs of what is a better solution in terms of time, and what is better in terms of space. So that's another thing you should be able to focus at. If you should focus at is, when you are solving any problem, let's say you're practicing any problem, you should also, what you do is write down the time and space complexity as a comment maybe at the top of your code. And then when you submit your code, let's say your code has passed the solution, right? Just go to the solution and just also check whether your time complexity is matching with the one mentioned in the solution, or in the mentioned in the solution of that platform. So that way you also improve your skill of calculating the time complexity or space complexity of a given code. Cool. So these are the key data structure algorithm. You might be familiar with this. And yeah, usually these are the topics. And I would say some companies might ask some topics more in their coding test as well as the interviews. But yeah, it's like I would say, if you want, if you have 1 year or like even more than 6 or 7 months of time, you should prepare every topic well. Don't leave any topic. I would say just be confident in every topic, because it is luck based which topic is will be asked you in an actual interview. So don't uh, skip any topic, I would say. Cool. So these are some resume and interview tips. Like resume, usually you should keep it one page, and because as a fresher, or even if you have like less than 3 years of experience, usually it is recommended that you should have a one-page resume. Because if you have more data or more field, if you prepare a 10-page resume, let's say, or two-page resume, then the thing is, the recruiter who is trying to view at your resume, they have to view not only your resume, but they have like let's say thousands of candidates who have submitted their resumes, right? So they have less time. So what they will do is, let's say they have 20 to 30 seconds at max to look at a single candidate's resume. So it might skip, so they will just read a few lines or few paragraphs or few sections of your resume. They will skip the later part of the resume. So that's wasted. Might It is possible that in the later part of the resume, or at the last of resume, you have mentioned achievements in the second page, and you have mentioned that I received, let's say, ICPC rank top 100 in regional level or maybe national level, whatever. But that is in the second page, that's a really good achievement. And looking at that, a recruiter might select you, but since you prepared a two-page resume, they might ignore that point and they might reject you. And this happens most of the times. So not only a two-page, but even when you're preparing a one-page resume, mention only the things which are really important in the resume. Like don't just stretch out things to just increase the size of resume. Don't do that. Mention the things which you think that the recruiter might look at and say, okay, this is a good resume, I should select this candidate. So try to mention those things. And if you have more projects and so try to mention the important things at the top. The things which you see, if you feel that these might be of less importance, you just move to the maybe end of the section. For example, if I have 4 projects, one is a really good project and it involves front end, back end, ML, and everything. So I will try. That's a good project and it is striving to, let's say, solve a real life problem, and it's a complicated problem I'm trying to solve. So I would mention this project at the first, and then I have a small project, let's say, of front end or of back end, or it has a smaller complexity. I will mention it later. So this is usually the order I keep, and yeah, this is how you prepare a good resume. And I would say the next thing is, it depending on the company, they might ask you OOP questions, or so OOP is object oriented programming, so they might ask you OOP questions in even in test and even in your interviews. So for OOP, just there are few concepts you can learn about those concepts in a single day. I would say just go to Geeks for Geeks or any favorite website of yours which has good technical articles or so. You can just learn those concepts with real life example for every concept. So there is polymorphism, there is abstraction, there are a list of concepts, I think 5 or 6 are there. You can just prepare for that. Like if someone asks you what explain polymorphism or explain abstraction with a real life example, this is usually the question asked. And yeah, you should also be prepared for design questions for some of the companies. Although not every company asks this, but I think Microsoft sometimes asks this, that design a parking lot software. So that design means you don't need to do a high level design of what the server will look like and so on. But you generally need to make classes and their like appropriate classes and their functions. And you need to say that, okay, this might be a class for car, this might be a car class for slot in a parking lot, and so on. So there are good videos on YouTube. If you search, you can just watch any one of those videos, and then you can try to solve past interview questions for this particular topic from GFG or from any favorite site of yours. Yeah. Then the next thing is quizzes and MCQs. I would say GFG is a really good question, a good collection of quizzes for every topic like CC plus or DSA. So if you are preparing for quizzes, just go for that. And like additional topics like probability puzzles, these again, for example, Goldman Sachs or Salesforce, they ask puzzles. So, and probability is really important topic for people who are preparing for Goldman Sachs. So these are company specific things, but yeah, whatever company comes to your campus or you think you are applying for and you want to get selected into, just for probability there is a good book, you can follow that. So I will share a detailed document with you folks, and I also have a video on my YouTube channel which describes these resources, the links of these resources, and uh, like these things in much detail. So I think in a 1 hour session, what I'm trying to cover is what should be your strategy to prepare, the resources, links, and everything. I guess I will share with the UDAAN team, and they can share with you. So yeah, don't worry about the links of resources and the book names, which I am also missing. I am also forgetting the name of the book. But yeah, that's a really good book to prepare probability. It's a small book. It is a collection of I think 40 or 50 or I think more than a little bit more than that. So it has a list of questions which cover every concept of probability. If you solve that book, then you should be really highly confident in solving a probability problem. And yeah, system design, again, it is not asked in an internship interview. Usually a few companies might ask, but yeah, if you are prepared, I would say just keep it at last. First prepare for OOP concepts, other DSA is mostly important, puzzles, probability, and those things. If you have time, then you can go for system design, OS, and DBMS or networking. And you for these, since if you are preparing for internship, you generally have less time. So what you can do is just go through the top interview questions from GFG or from interview bit for these topics. And why I'm saying this is you can learn the important concepts of these topics quickly from those top interview questions. If you have more time or if you're preparing for placements, then I have some resources which I will share in that doc. You can follow those. So those are really good resources. Okay. Sorry. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, since we have very less time, I think we have 15 minutes or 14 minutes. I will end at 7:10. So yeah, I would just stop here for 1 or 2 minutes, and I will ask you to raise your hands if you have any question. Does anyone have a question? You can unmute and ask if you have the permission to do so, or maybe raise your hands. Okay. I can. Oh, sorry. I think I am missing the chat. I am a second student. I have just started coding on contest. Kindly give some tips. Yeah, if you are a second year student, so it means you have around 3 or 4 months left for your internship preparation, right? Or maybe less than that. So I would say just prepare DSA, topics of DSA, and try to solve, like, maybe you can start with the interview bit section, try to solve that interview bit problems. And if you face difficulty in that, just for example, if you're facing difficulty in particular topic like graphs, what you can do is just go through the graph resources from HackerEarth or any good site which has articles for that topic, really good articles, and you can follow that, I would say. And this way you just try to make sure that you're confident in every topic, and then you can move towards these things like give yeah, along with that, if you can give some, like, since you've just started coding contest, I think that's good. You can also since you have less time, I would say one more thing is it's mentioned in the other side that you should start giving mock interviews. So yeah, I think yeah uh, we have that covered up in the next slide. So I will discuss that. So mock interviews is really important if you have 2 months or less left. So yeah, try to give mock interviews, and then I would say if the remaining topics, oops, and things like that, just also prepare that. That should be really good, I would say. So yeah, in the resume you should also have some projects. So not on so project domain you can choose on your own. It might be backend, front end, or if you are familiar with ML, or if you want to learn have interest in ML, I would say make projects of ML. So although this is the thing, if you are if you have much time, like if you are just entering in your second year, so I would say I think I missed this thing that if you are in your first year or just moving to the second year, since you have 1 year of time, try to make good projects. At least two good projects you should have of any topic of your own, like any domain, like it might be front end, it might back end, or it might be machine learning or AI, gen AI, or anything. So just try to prepare two good projects, and because your resume needs projects, right? In an internship, that's really important. Cool. So there is a question about CP does CP rating matters, or yeah. So it might matter, depends on the company. I would say just what you do is mention max rating for every platform in your resume if that is good, if it looks good in your resume. And yeah, otherwise the rating doesn't matter at all, I would say. uh, I mean, if you don't mention it in your resume, then the recruiter doesn't look at that. And if you have really good projects and things like that, basically resume is a mix of things. Like if you have a good really good CGPA, or if you have really good projects, then those become of more importance. And uh, then the person might not look at the things which are mentioned below those, right? So rating is not important as such, but yeah, if you have a good rating, then you should mention that in your resume, I would say this. Can we do projects on watching YouTube tutorials, copy paste? I would say you can do that, but like to-do list, if you're making a to-do list project, that's a quite common project everyone makes. Or if you're making e-commerce portal or something, so that's okay to make. If you have less time, then I would say go for that. But if you have good time, I would say first you can learn from those YouTube tutorials, make a project like that. Then when you have time, I would say just think of any problem or which you think which is something uncommon or something creative. Try to solve that problem. Or if you are making an ML domain or AI domain, just you can go to Kaggle, and maybe in any of the latest contests you can try to participate and try to build up or your own solution or your own model you can train, and try to see if that really works well. And mentioning that will be of a little higher value, I would say, if you have something creative or something different. But you have less time, then I would say go for any projects you can just quickly make from learning from YouTube tutorials. Does CGPA matter for top tech 10 companies? So yeah, if you are in first year, mainly for the first year students, I would say please, I missed this at the beginning, I don't know why, but for the first year students, coding and all, you should be like just focusing on the fundamentals, like solving the implementation problems. But the most important thing is focus on your CGPA. Why? Because usually the first year CGPA is the CGPA which which you have at the end of your graduation. Whatever CGPA, let's say someone has 8.5 CGPA at the end of first year, usually 90% of cases at the end of your graduation you will have some CGPA little bit around that, plus minus zero point 0.2 or something. Usually, why? Because from ISM, if you are a student of IIT ISM, usually the credits are of higher importance of the subjects which are in the first year curriculum. So those have higher weightage, and usually that's the trend that yeah, what first year CGPA is, that's why important. So you can't and let's say you have a less CGPA in first year or second year, then in third year you can ask your seniors that it's really difficult to increase your GPA if you have a less CGPA in your first year. So I have seen people that in the first year they were not really serious about CGPA and they had a low CGPA like 6 or 5.9. But for so when the companies are coming to your campus, they have certain minimum criteria that they will only take the people who have 7 GPA. most of the companies have 7 CGPA has a cutoff. In IIT ISM, I know about that. Some companies like Amazon don't care about GPA. Some companies might have a lower criteria like 6.0, or some companies might have a higher, like Microsoft usually has a 8.0 criteria. So that depends from company to company, but it's really good if you have a good CGPA. 8 plus CGPA is really good, but at least try to maintain 7 plus CGPA from IIT ISM point of view. If you are from different college, then ask your seniors, I would say. Cool. Um, how is dual degree means MTech CSE with mechanical branch? I don't have much context for that. I would just say that ask your seniors. They would be able to better answer this. Do we have an internship in the end of third year by Google? Mm, so at the end of third year, yeah, you actually do internship at the end of your third year, but the interviews are held in the beginning of your third year usually. So for almost every company, this is the case. Yeah. Please tell the required minimum CGPA for top 10 companies. So I mentioned this. I'm entering third year student. Tell about project from YouTube or how to customize and how should I write line to code manually. Just contribute in the repos or customize. I have covered this thing. I started CP. Should I continue with CP or should I focus on Striver A to set DSA? Only that I am second year student. Should say if you are in first year, focus on CP and implementation things, or if you are even in your beginning of second year, focus on CP. Only when you have 6 months left for your actual interviews and that procedures for internships, that time focus on Striver A to Z DSA or Lubber 450 DSA. Only from that point of view, start Lead Code or Interview Bit or those platforms which focus on DSA specific topics, or I would say that. Are there any tech companies which keep the cutoff 8.5? I have not heard of that usually, but some companies might do that. You can ask your seniors, I would say that's the best way to find out. Cool. So, yeah, we can cover the rest of the things now. So, I have covered most of these things which are mentioned in this slide. One thing is when you are giving an actual test on or really in on campus, I mean. So sometimes it happens that this company asks, let's say IIT Roorkee, IIT KGP, IIT Dhanbad. These are the these are the three colleges which the company is coming in. And there was a test yesterday in IIT Roorkee and in IIT KGP. And in Dhanbad there is a test today. Just try to collect questions from the Roorkee people and the other people, because uh, sometimes we have seen that some of the questions are ditto same. If not, at least the pattern is same and at least the topics are same most of the time. So that really helps you to score good. And yeah, so but this is just it's just something you should think of. Just try to make friends in different colleges, and and maybe you can form a WhatsApp group. You can share your problems you got in your college, and they will share theirs. You can really build up a good community. There are some Facebook pages or some documents where this info is shared for IITs at least. So you can ask your seniors or someone who knows that, and just go to I would say just use those interview experiences. Yeah, when you have very less time left, I would say just read some interview experiences of different companies you are targeting, or which visit your campus or you are applying off campus. Try to read some interview experiences. Those give a really good view of how the interviews will actually look like, and those will really help you in your preparation. And yeah, I think lead code discuss or lead code has a section in the yeah. Is someone want does someone want to ask a question? Cool. Yeah. So you can just try to solve the interview experiences, I would say, or just read through the questions given in there and try to solve those questions on your own. And yeah, set deadlines, finish preparation before like some margin you should keep like 4 or 5 days before the test to avoid any to avoid any panic, and you should practice well. So I think we are at the almost at the end of the session, and just some interview tips is, I would say, just one of the thing is communication skills. Some people are not confident in speaking English or in describing their thought process to the interviewer. So that is a really important point from interview point of view. So what you should do is just give more and more mock interviews. What you can do is you can form a small community of 4 people, 5 people, or 10 people, and in your college or whatever, and just you can schedule mock interviews on your own. Like first person will take the 10th person's interview today, second will take 8th person, and so on. You can schedule weekly or maybe once in 3 days. You can schedule mock interviews, and that will really give you good confidence. If you don't have much friends or you are an introvert, I would say don't be an introvert for this. Just be an extrovert. Try to reach out to people. Maybe you can reach out to your seniors, they might help you. If they can also take a mock interview, or just reach out to your batchmates and form a group. If not, if due to some reason you're not able to do so, just go to online platforms like Tramp and interview.io, practice from there. They also really have a good platform for giving mock interviews, and their professional interviewers will take your interview. So that's also good. So you can give free 2 or 4 interviews, I think, on Prime, if I remember correctly. So that's also good if you want to practice. Then again, one thing is, in any platform, when you are submitting your code in your contest, the readability doesn't matter. But in interview, your code should be readable. You should have descriptive variable names, and your function name should be readable and things like that. So those details of how to make a code readable, I would say, just I will share the doc with UDAAN people. That doc has a lot more details. Just go through that. So you should be able to do that, right? And yeah, cool. I would say you are at the last slide. So in an actual interview, try to ask more and more questions from when you were given a coding problem. Ask more questions, clarify the assumptions and things. And yeah, uh, the first thing is that. Second is try to understand the problem which is given to you. Third is, once you have understood the problem, uh, like when you have like confidence and you have understood the problem, just try to think loud your approach, describe your approach to the interviewer. Don't just write the code directly. So this is something which you should take care of. Don't write the code directly. Just try to walk through your thought process, how you are thinking the solution. Just think loud, I would say. And once the interview is okay with your solution, you can then write the code, and then at last you can just do a dry run and write some edge cases. Just check edge cases and write maybe just uh, if you want, you can check with your interview. If interviewer wants that you dry run it, you can do a dry run, and then write the space and time complexity of the problem. And there might be more than one problem in an interview, so this is just for the first problem. This is the second problem, you can just follow this same thing. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. I think I am done with my part. If you have any question, just I think we are almost at the end of the time, but if you have any question, I will just give 1 minute. If you can ask in the chat. So I would say just build up a community to how you can find out how different tests are happening in the different IITs, make friends, and in a larger group you can share these information with each other and help each other. I would say think of your friends as your batchmates as your friends, and try to help each other, and that will really build a good community. Tell us about more YT. I think I have covered most of the things, and if not, then most of the things would be covered in a document I will share to the Odaan team. I have to really rush. I have to catch a bus. Sorry for that. So I will stop here. Thank you. Sorry for anything I might have missed or something. But yeah, thank you.
A very, very heartful thank you to Chirag Jain sir for joining us today and sharing such valuable and important insights. Sir, your coding journey is truly inspirational for all the coders at our college. It was an honor to have you with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Dear friends, that's a wrap up of today's event. We have been sitting for almost 4 hours till now. We have explored how to get internship across product management, consulting, research, finance, software development, and many more. Now, I would like you to follow our social media pages for upcoming events and subscribe our Udaan YouTube channel. Thank you. Also, we will be uploading the recording of this event on our YouTube page. So I would request you to subscribe our YouTube page and follow us on Instagram. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So could you let us know where you're going to upload the resources and books which Chirag Jain says Also the one which the other seniors said.
Yes, we
send.
will be uploading all this on our Instagram page.
The
Udaan
resources and
IITism.
the books.
Yes, everything. We will share the link on Instagram. You can follow Udaan IITism.
Yes, sir, I'm already following.
You can also access it from our LinkedIn page. Please follow that also.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Does anyone have a doubt? Okay, thank you guys for joining for the event. Bye.
Bye, sir.